The Mormon religion is a sex cult, and I can prove it. So sex cults groom their members to do things that they otherwise wouldn't do if they were in their right mindset. I grew up in the Mormon religion, and I can confirm that the only thing I was told was going to be the greatest thing I ever do in my life was to get married in the temple to a returned missionary, and that's the important part. Because the Mormon church is all about that money. In fact, they're just another typical empire who wants more land and resources and wealth. Their whole scam is getting 10% of income from all the members. Poor or wealthy, they get 10% of your income. That's a lot of money. And how do they get these members? They send out 18-year-old little boys on missions for 2 years. That's right, free slave labor for these little boys to go and convert people into the church. That's lots of 10% income for life. And they promise these little boys that once they come back, they can get married to a virgin. We know that men will do a lot of things to get access to a woman's body. Some of these men who are fanatics religiously will even blow themselves up if they're promised 10 virgins in the afterlife. So they've groomed women, brainwashed us to be eager and excited, to stay at home, to quit college, to not go on a mission, to not get out in the work field. Our job is to stay at home and have children, aka be free Beck slaves to these men, little boys, to weirdos who haven't done anything in the world, haven't pursued or even become successful to even hold a family of their own. They groom women to date and marry poor men. You see, businesses need leverage, and a woman's body is their greatest leverage to hang over a man's head while they go off on a mission, and then in the background they're thinking, oh boy, I can't wait to be done with this mission. I can go home and have Becks and get married. And all the Mormons coming in my comments saying nobody's forced to do anything. That's not how cults work. Cults work by getting in your heads and grooming you, shaming you, guilt-tripping you. In fact, I said, I want to go on a mission because I want to bring souls to Jesus. And they said, okay. They were annoyed because a woman's job is to stay at home. They need ginas waiting for these men. Lots of ginas. They don't want women not available. They need our bodies waiting eagerly available for these return missionaries so that these return missionaries can go out and get millions of dollars in tithing money for these churches. And what are they doing with all this tithing money? Well, these old men at the top are wannabe emperors because men inherently realize they don't have any power, so they play power games. They want more wealth and land and control. They build little systems that benefit them, like keep the women in the house uneducated, on their feet, constantly pregnant, making more people so that we can brainwash their kids, so that we can take their money, we can grow, and I can be the guy at the top saying, look at my empire. In fact, I was watching a live, ex-Mormon live, and the guy said, you know how they choose their stake president, which is the president of the president? Bring us their tithing record. Who's the guy that pays the most money to the church? Congratulations, you're the stake president. And then if you want to become an apostle, one can only guess how much that guy's donated to the church, building their empire. If you want to build our empire, you get a shot in the seat at being the ultimate emperor, the king of the throne, the prophet of the biggest corrupt system using Jesus' name in vain. So if you have little girls in the Mormon church, they'll never ask your little girls, what do you want to be when you grow up? You're smart, you're important. They never asked me. They just said, when are you going to get married? Aren't you so excited to get married? What's your greatest thing you're going to do? Write it down, say it over and over again. I was seething with anger because I was being groomed my entire life. It takes a while to pull out of that grooming, and thank God I live in America. I did go on a mission, and at the end of my mission, I said, I'm leaving. And the only thing I had that I was so grateful for was living in a country where I could say, I'm leaving because I'm an American citizen and I have the right to leave a voluntary position. That's the only thing that women have right now. You have your freedom to take back control. Don't let them get in your mind. Do not let a man tell you what you will become in the future. You're more than a body laying next to a man in a bed every night. You're more than free Becks and free labor. A cult gets in your head. They groom you. And the Mormon church does exactly that. It's all about money at the end of the day. They don't care about your soul. They care about growing their empire. But like all great empires, they eventually fall because they're built on sand, corruption, money, greed, power, control, the exact opposite of what Jesus was even teaching. Ye never knew me.